In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission, to bring freedom to everyone involved.
Dude, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm doing a thing for the podcast.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends Podcast.
Oh, you already pushed the button? I already
Redacted.
like 7 times.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I got the redacted button for.
Redacted.
Frick boys.
Frick boys. Friggin' boys. It's friggin' Thursday, and it's Friday. It's Friday.
It's friggin' a day. Friggin' Friday, and we're sitting in a friggin' circle with friggin' sticks in our hands and friggin' drinks on the table.
Friggin'.
What are we about to friggin' do, John?
Can I say it?
Yeah, I don't think that's a cuss word.
Okay, we're about to friggin' masturbate, boys.
That's right. It's time for Freedom Friends Master Debate, solving the world's problems, one mediocre friggin' topic at a time. I'm gonna go back into drill instructor mode. Frickin' dang, frickin' dang, frickin' dang. You and
Listen here, spark plug.
That's how you drill sergeants did?
there's a lot of different things that they did. Yeah, we solve the world's problems one day at a time. We make them up, and then we come up with mediocre ways of solving them.
They're outstanding ways of solving mediocre ass problems.
that we come up
That
with.
we came up with.
Yeah. So, Justin, what do you friggin' got for us?
All right, boys.
All right, boys.
So this one, I think y'all might actually have some differing opinions on.
Willem Dafoe.
6.
12.
True.
I'll go
Fucking nailed it.
I'll go with false.
You want to read off the... So I want to know, when do y'all think that a boy becomes a man?
Willem Dafoe.
If you're wondering why we're saying frick, by the way, before we get into this, it's algorithms. But don't worry, I'm keeping time.
Aliens.
So I think the answer to this question is the same as when does a Cub Scout become a Boy Scout? And that's when he eats his first brownie.
When does a boy become the man? I don't know, because I've met some fucking man-childs out there. So
Your best friend's a
do
man
you-
child.
Do y'all think do you think it's like an age thing or an experience
No, he's a man.
thing?
He's
I'm
a
very
boy.
self-aware, sir.
no. My best friend is a man with a boyish sense of humor.
That's true.
It is not an
Much
age
like your
thing.
best friend.
Hey, the big money's and dick and fart jokes. It's been 2 minutes.
You know
Fuck
what?
you.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll go deep on this one. I think a boy becomes a man when he understands that you have to take responsibilities for what the fuck going on in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were no longer
So
trying to
40.
It's so funny.
Hey, I'm still working on it.
You know, and we all know that point.
25.
We all know that point where suddenly you just kind of went, yeah, fuck this on me, innit? It's like, and I think that's the flipping point. Like, I don't think it's like, oh, it's the first time to get your dick wet. No, it's not any of that stupid shit. I literally think it's one, when somebody can shake your hand and trust what the fuck they're saying to you. And two, when you'll take responsibility for your actions. When you don't get to point at somebody else and be like, well, no, wasn't me, that guy fucked me.
And honestly, you can't even put a number on this age.
No, I think
because you could get this at 12,
Yep.
and you can get this at 40.
So what you're saying is no politician is yet a man.
No.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And I believe that people can revert back.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
There's regression.
You can have men that definitely act like boys.
Well, that's because it's age. At a certain age, you are assumed to be a man.
See, but that's changed over millennia, and you were there. Fucking like you got to think like there was fucking
Yeah, you can't assume anymore.
like 14 years old used to be like dudes lying to get into the military and shit.
Yeah.
You know what
that's
I
a
mean?
man.
They were men.
That's somebody that stood up for
and they were 14.
and
You know what
wanted
I mean?
and wanted the responsibility. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the better way to phrase it. It's when you desire responsibility.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you also fucking have those kids who are like, they're trying to grow up too fucking fast, and they're fucking stupid because they're kids.
Hey, some of us didn't have choices.
Yeah.
It's the same. You gotta remember, dude, my parents both died when I was very young.
Yeah,
I was forced into fucking manhood.
I mean, I turned into, third parent and taking care of my mother by 13.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I knew what the fuck I was doing,
But you were forced into it.
but I was forced into it. So, but that's why it kind of comes back to the when you'll take responsibility, because that was definitely mid to late 20s when I was willing to go like, it's not going to kill me. So yeah, it was I fucked this up.
If I had to put a number on it, after years of training junior Marines and being around 17 to 25-year-olds that I was in charge of, and then just basic life experience even before and since then, if I had to put an actual number of age on when a boy becomes a man, I would say 25.
Yeah, but that's based
Honestly.
on your experience.
That's
Now,
based on my experience.
Now I'm not asking for an age. I'm asking if it's something specific.
Is it an event or something
yes,
like that?
exactly. Yes.
I got a follow-on question. How old were you and you think you became a man?
28, 29.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I was probably about 30.
About close, yeah, right around 28,
I'm
29.
gonna put mine at like 19,
But you had a different circumstance. When was your first kid?
20.
Do you see what I'm saying?
She got pregnant when you were 19, right? Before you turned?
Maybe, but I don't know if that was a defining moment.
But that was
The defining moment for me was I didn't like I was out of the house.
Yeah.
I had my own gig.
Sure.
I had my own responsibilities. I had other people relying on me, like my wife.
yeah. But now you had. I'll give you that, like the whole wife thing or whatever. But once a kid comes into play,
Yeah.
it's just a different beast. You're responsible for something that
Cannot function without you.
well, and that's the thing, right? Is that like wives are all.
But
Most of us can speak to the fact that the wife thing doesn't necessarily mean permanence. That's
Yeah.
not a. It's a.
Remember, 3 out of the 4 of us can speak to that.
So
like, we got the big D's under our belts, man. And I guarantee you, to Jazz's point, I got married at 18. I got divorced the day before I turned 21. I was still a child. I was still a kid. I do not think I was a man.
Yeah, seriously.
I was able to make man-sized decisions ill-advised.
Like I could survive on my own.
barely.
for what I knew.
hey, look, the
What,
kids
you
in
know.
Lord of the Flies survived on their own. That doesn't necessarily mean to know what the fuck they were
But
doing.
that's what I'm saying.
By that
is-
rationale, though, look at Justin.
But it's not that. But I think that's why Justin's asking for an event
Yeah.
and not an age. And I think that's what we're all stuck on is, well, how old are you when you're a man? And it's like, that doesn't fucking matter.
I think it's a
I'd agree
realization.
with that.
I think it's a realization. When you realize, oh, fuck, it's time to shit or get off the pot. Or it's fucking, it's like,
John, how
Like
old
it's-
were you when we went to Iraq?
20.
Well, I mean,
Warfare does not make a man.
But no,
yeah,
Makes me a
no.
happy
So,
boy.
so I had responsibilities and decisions I had to make while
it
we were over
speeds
there.
it up a little bit.
Right. But what I think,
It
for me
ages you.
personally, what I think what happened,
So,
I think it ages you.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
When I got back and I got out of the military, I think I went back to a mindset of like, fuck it, pretty much.
yeah.
now,
And then it took me until I got to about 29 or 30 to be like, oh, I've kind of got to get my
that's
shit
not that
together.
uncommon though. The guys go and they do their 4 to 6 years, whatever. And you're in a structure that forces you to step up. Or
Yeah.
you're a career E4.
It's called a rank structure.
So
I got an E5. Come on.
but you're forced to do it. But then you get out and it's kind of like, I did this way too young. I mean, I think we can all agree that, to be honest with you, a 20-year-old E5 is what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Like,
I
why
was-
the
I-
fuck
I-
are we trusting that?
I was
Like,
I was a 20-year-old E5.
See?
And I will tell you right now,
you didn't know what the fuck you were doing.
no fucking clue.
Yeah.
No fucking
And
clue.
it's that whole like, well, we have time and grade and we have this, that, and the other.
Bro, I was a 24
fuck
I was a 24-year-old
all.
E6
Yeah, it doesn't
and
mean anything.
again was not ready for it.
So
That's the military.
And by 26 though, I
literally
was already
that's the definition of the infantry.
by 26 I was already a 2-time combat vet with a Purple Heart, had fucking been through it.
yeah, but that's why
fucking
we have
was lead-
40.
had
We
led
look at that,
dudes,
and
like-
we have 40-year-old generals.
Yeah.
And it's like,
But we also have
what the
22-year-old
fuck?
lieutenants.
Yes, also true. And so that's what I'm saying is that the age thing doesn't do it. And unpopular opinion, and I'm sure fucking we're gonna get a million comments on this shit. Warfare does not make men. It doesn't. Now,
Isn't it?
am I saying that your ability to stand there next to your buddy and take rounds while sending them back
just throwing bananas around.
is Does it take spine?
child?
Yeah. Does it take spine? Does it take testicular fortitude? Does it take a sense of loyalty?
Okay, well
yes.
then,
Are there lessons learned?
I will tell you,
Yes. Do I think that because you
bravery is
deployed?
easy when you're a kid.
Yeah. Also,
you're in a consequence-free world, so
Yeah, bravery is
Also-
easy. Like if I went to war at fucking 22, 23, right? That's one thing. Doing it at 40, it's like, ugh.
Yeah, shit hurts now.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt then.
Right?
you also understand risk assessment, and you can't tell a 40-year-old that you're bulletproof. You can convince the 18-year-old that's like,
Well,
you're the best in the fucking world, kid. All you got to do is cover me while I move, and you'll be
She sees me
fine.
down, bro.
Yeah.
You're good.
You're good to hook. Here's this 50-year-old weapon system. Go wage war. Like,
you value things differently too.
Yeah.
I mean,
So what's your definition of being a man?
taking
Well, I already said
responsibility. Yeah, I think Jazz kind of nailed it. I agree with him. I think taking responsibility and stepping up into the role of a man is you being a man. And weirdly enough, you don't have to have a dick to do this. Because I know a lot of single moms out there who fucking stood up and fucking was a father
They're
figure
bad
to a lot of
motherfuckers.
people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a mindset more than anything, I think. And anybody can do it. And I don't think there's an age. Like I think on average 25 to 30 is probably when you figure it the fuck out. But I don't think there's an age. I think it's closer to, when you're ready, and I think, look at like there's kids who are fucking 15 years old who have raised their siblings and shit because maybe mom's a fucking drug addict and dad's in jail or whatever. Well, that kid at 15, he's got man fucking responsibilities and he's doing it. He or she. Got man, woman responsibilities. They're fucking grown folks at that point, and they're making those decisions and they're keeping people alive. And I think those guys deserve the shout out, right? Like those guys are there.
And I'd still say that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a man or grown up or whatever the fuck we want to put on
But
this.
at least
Because I
they're
think it is
stepping up.
important that you're saying that like this isn't a male centric thing, right? But I get the question. I get where you're going with it. But that's a forced into situation. It's a lot like what I'm saying with the military.
Sure.
And if it was warfare made it, then none of our generation would understand what the fuck the sham shield was. And the E4 Mafia wouldn't be a thing. Because that was literally professional dodging of responsibility.
Battalion skate team, captain.
Yeah. So you've got to look at that and go like, so are these men because they deployed?
I know a lot of fucking idiots that deployed.
So,
But I wouldn't trust with a potato gun.
It's not fair. It's when you can step up and go, hey, I fucked up. And if you can look another man in the eye and say, I said I'd do this and I didn't. And I'm fucked up for it.
So you would say integrity plays a huge role in the part of
Without
becoming
integrity, you can't accept responsibility.
I agree.
What about having the ability to separate emotions from logic?
That is a skill that 99% of the fucking human race can't do.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that's true.
that's a learned behavior.
Some people say that's a weakness.
That's true.
My wife.
Well, it's but that's some of that black and white mentality.
But what do psychiatrists know?
The problem I actually have
You
with the most
spelled psychotic.
yeah.
Yeah.
First off, bring me psychiatrist or psychologist that isn't on something, and maybe I'll listen to them.
Right?
But everyone I've ever met is fucking some sort of something's going into their system to balance them back out.
Probably
The
have
other problem
they
that I
probably
have-
crystals around their house and
The
shit.
other
too.
problem I have with almost anybody in the psychology field is in a field where you should only be dealing in the gray, it's always black and white. It's always like, well, you have too much emotion in it. So you go logical and then they're like, nope, logical's unhealthy. You need emotion in it. And it's like, what the fuck? And it's like, but humans only exist in the gray.
Yeah.
Like there is no
Yeah.
fucking hard and fast rules for any of it. It's not math. They're fucking people. Like everybody's fucking flawed. But everybody's like, I can't believe they made this decision. Why? Because you've never been a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It-
Well, I think
Yeah.
if you have enough logic, you'll understand that emotion does play a part. But if you don't have enough logic, emotion's the only thing that matters.
Right.
The funny thing is that if you have enough logic, you should recognize that if whatever you're doing isn't eliciting an emotional response, it's probably not that fucking important.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
What do you mean maybe?
I think you're going into the hyper logic though. At that
No, I'm
point.
not. No, I want to know. No, so here's the deal. I present you with a decision. And if you can go like, yeah, whatever, sure. So there's no emotional response. So you make a strictly logical piece. It doesn't actually fucking matter to you because it elicited no emotional response. Now, if I ask you to do something and you get excited about it, you're like, fuck yeah, I'm in. The logic in you ran that, like, I have time for that. I would enjoy that. You're like, you ran the logic pattern and there was an emotional response that prioritized that thing for you to do.
Okay.
So your emotion made it important. Your logic path stated that it was something that you could actually do. That makes that a decision that's worth a fuck. If you can do it strictly logically, you don't actually care that much because it didn't elicit any emotional response from you.
You sound like my wife, sir.
Your wife's also a pretty smart lady.
She is.
I've met her. So,
I've heard this before. That's what I'm saying.
but I'm just saying, it is what it is. It's, why are you guys in the tobacco industry? Okay, I'll simplify the question. Are you in the tobacco industry because it was a logical decision or an emotional decision?
Some of both, but more logical.
I don't know if it's either. It was kind of,
But it was both.
yeah, it was.
Were you excited about getting into the tobacco industry?
Yeah.
Did you go
I thought he
through
was
the
excited about getting out of the gun industry. Is what he was excited about.
Okay, we'll roll it back. Why did you go into the gun industry?
That was emotional.
But you approached
Probably.
it from a logical standpoint.
Maybe.
So
Yeah.
the decision to bring Cerakoting into the business and to send him off to get certified and all that kind of stuff, was that a logical decision or an emotional
There
decision?
was no emotion there.
No, that was
It was a logical
That was
decision.
all logic. Yeah.
But when you went to go learn it, did you get passionate about the actual art?
well, you have to.
So it elicited emotional response.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is that the decisions that actually push your life forward require both.
Yeah.
Because the decision fucking matters. It was the same thing when I decided to open my store. I could have gone and done whatever the fuck. I decided to go into an industry I actually gave
Well,
a
you were
fuck
doing
about.
whatever the fuck.
I was. Whatever I needed to do.
Whatever the fuck.
It doesn't matter how much logic you have if there's no passion behind it. That,
Well, I
that
think-
emotional response.
But I think passion and emotion are different.
Yes.
Sure.
You're 100% correct.
they are.
No, I agree
Yeah.
with that. Now, Jazz, you're in a unique position because you got to bring a passion into a career,
Mm-hmm.
whereas I don't know. Yeah, and you know what? It kind of sucks. It's kind of depressing. I don't know what I could do, what passion of mine I could elicit into a career.
I'll fix that for you. You already are.
What? Well, helping vets. Sure.
It's not helping vets. It's continuing to be around that brotherhood.
Sure.
It's what you're passionate about. Because you were going to be career. It's not like you one day stood up and said, like, you know what? The Corps is just not for me anymore. Like, it
No,
just,
yeah, you're right.
that wasn't a decision you
Yeah.
made.
No, I would
You
have been,
got
I would have done
informed.
40 if I could have. Yeah.
You got informed you weren't going to be in the Corps anymore.
Mhm.
We've had this discussion about
Sure.
that news was not a great day.
No, it was fucking sucked. So it still sucks.
So what you've done is you have followed the emotional response of wanting that camaraderie, but the logic pattern in you was, I'm going to find my way to continue to be involved with this while at the same time taking care of my responsibilities. That's the combination of the emotional response with the logic.
Okay. Okay.
It doesn't
I
have
see your
anything to
point.
do with being a man.
No.
But the man part comes in if you make the mistake or somebody asks you, hey, can you handle this or whatever? You can step forward and you can look them in the eye and say, yes, I can. And if I can't, it stops right here. I'm the reason it didn't fucking happen. And when you're willing to carry that, that's the sign of you're no longer a child and you've become a man, is because you can step forward and you can do that.
Big boy rules.
And it's both a logic and emotional response. You know it could hurt if you fuck up. You're going to be embarrassed. You're going to be ashamed. You're going to be all of those things. And you still understand it is still on you at the end. And you'll face that if you have to.
Sure. But what kind of cake?
Child.
Red velvet.
Justin's like, what is happening right now? Well, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, I don't disagree with anything you just said. Like as far as like the.
That's because I'm right.
I agree with you. I agree with you on this because I can't tell you how many, and I guarantee you've all been there. How many times have you had to pull someone aside and go, listen, I'm not fucking around. Like, this is on you. Like, you need to fucking do this, or you need to fucking ensure. Like, and no matter what the fucking end result is, it's on them. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's the flip. I literally think it's, when have you been pulled aside and somebody said, look, this is on you.
That's what, well, either, that was my next point.
It didn't happen.
Both of us, and it's also happened to us.
It didn't happen because of whatever action you took. And it's when you can look back and go, you're right. And there was no excuse. There was no nothing. You just go, yep. This was on me. That's the flip. That's when you're no longer a fucking child.
Yeah.
So based on that logic, I know a lot of really old childs.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Because society sucks at being
Called Congress.
a man. Yeah. Yeah.
It's more than just Congress. I mean, it's Scott's absolutely right.
Well,
it's,
and honestly,
it's the majority of people,
it's
because
probably-
it's so much easier.
It's probably
just to go
all
like,
of us at certain points.
Yeah.
Oh, we've all done it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know,
And
like
nobody's got a perfect track record.
Sure. Like
If
we've all
if you're out there listening to this and you say, that's not me. No,
you're
It's
doing
you.
it right now.
that you're doing it right. You're doing it right now.
Yeah,
That is
right
you.
now it's
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, and I look back and fuck, in the last 5 years, I can point out instances where I've fucking made poor decisions or done something that I'm not proud of. And don't get me wrong, I own it. I try to own it. You know, if I know I'm fucked up, I'll own it. You know what I mean? If I know, I think the problem comes down to the point where people don't like being told that they're wrong. But two, if you genuinely
Well, I don't know. There's a totally
believe-
different kink out there that just none of us are into.
But genuinely, if you believe that you're right, and you fucking know, I fucking believe that I am right, it's real hard to talk somebody out of that. It's real hard to explain to them, even utilizing logic
And believe it or
to
not,
explain that. Because from their point of view, they're fucking doing the right
there
thing.
is also a level of man or adult or whatever the fuck term you want to put on it.
I would almost argue that this is an adult conversation, not when someone becomes a man. It's when someone becomes an adult.
But
Fair.
there's a level of that too, when somebody will look at you and be like, here's all the reasons you fucked up. And you just go, okay. And you and I both, when we got fired.
Yeah.
We didn't sit there and raise hell. We didn't whatever. And it was like, all right, here's the handoff.
Yeah.
Best of fucking luck. It like,
Honestly, I don't think I would have handled it as gracefully had you not been fired before me and told me how to do it. I swear to God. Like, had you not conducted yourself the way you did with absolute professionalism and poise, I think I would have had more of an emotional response. But when it came time, I was like, you know what? I like the way Jazz did it.
but I think
I'm going to do it that way too.
it comes down to the same thing.
It's way cheaper than driving a bus through the front door.
Yeah.
Also that.
But I think it comes down to, it's the same thing. Like, I weighed the pros and cons of where would the benefit have been
Yeah.
in going ape shit and walking around and fucking raising hell and
Making a scene and
making a
shit.
scene and all that. What would have it accomplished?
Yeah.
Would it have done anything? I would have looked like an idiot and still wouldn't have the job.
Yeah.
So
And that's what most people who like fucking loudly quit, you know, like and raise hell out the door and fucking talk shit and fuck you and fuck you and fuck you. You're still not working tomorrow, bro.
I loudly got fired from a bar once in Arizona.
I've been loudly fired.
But
From
I
a
was
bar.
the loudly one. And I didn't get fired till the next day because everyone was too afraid to say anything to me to that night. Might have been a little drunk.
I quit, and then I quit, and as soon as I quit with loudly.
Yeah.
And as soon as I quit, I was fired. And I was no, bitch, you can't do that.
I went off on everyone. I went off on the entire staff, all the other bartenders, the owner, the manager, fucking everyone. I pulled the owner in the back room for 45 minutes, like during my shift. They were busy as fuck.
Lighting him up.
Yeah, lighting him the fuck up, knife handing the shit out of him. Then I come back out, finish out the shift, clean the entire bar. My drawer was onto the fucking dollar. Lined up everybody again that was still there. Fucking went off one more time, and then went home. The next morning, the manager calls. I see it. I answer. I'm like, "Hey, Will." He's like, "Hey, John." I was like, "I probably don't have a job anymore, huh?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Cool."
Yep, saw that one coming, buddy. Thanks, man.
Not even gonna drive in there to receive it.
Totally understand.
But again,
you know the best part about being a bartender and quit and getting fired from a bar, though?
You just go next door.
That, and also you don't give a fuck about the $2 check that you have coming. It doesn't matter. You're like, all right, I'm just done.
What's funny is that you're on both sides of the coin there, right? So you had a very emotional response the night before, but then the next day you looked back on and was like, ugh, fucked this up.
Yeah, big time. So it was 100% my fault.
You called your boss and was like, I fucked that up, huh? And it's like, yep. It's like, don't have a job anymore. It's like, nope. And it's like, all right. And then, like, so I'm not saying
it'd been really funny if they hadn't called you and then you just showed up to work and you were just like, hey,
so the funniest part about all of it is fast forward like I don't know, probably a month and a half, and they would consistently call me to guest because they were short staffed or they had a busy weekend coming up, and they're like, "Hey, you want to work this Friday?"
Still can't deny the skills, man.
I'm like, "I'll work. I'll make $400 or $500 in one night. Like, I'm in. Let's do this." And then almost every time they're like, "Well, we got a couple more shit." I'm like, "Nope." I'm like, "You guys remember what happened last time?"
Some of those decisions are hard too, because like.
But then, so I don't really want to get into details on it, but the main reason why it happened was about a week prior to that, Tempe PD pulled me out front of the bar and questioned me about an underage girl drinking in the bar. And essentially it was like, the owner of the place is the biggest piece of shit in the fucking world. And he had cameras in his office and he tried to get the girls in there to change in there, knowing that he had a camera in it. And then he tried to get the underage girls drunk. Yeah. Oh, he's the biggest fucking piece of shit.
I didn't know you worked for R. Kelly. That's crazy.
No, this guy named Jay. Fuck that guy.
Fuck you, Jay.
But anyway, so Tempe PD came and questioned me, and I legitimately had no idea about what they were talking to me. I wasn't there that night, and so I'm like, I don't know. I was
like, which one of you motherfuckers?
No. So I went back in and I talked to my buddy, and I'm like, hey, Tempe PD just asked me about this. What is this true? Like, what the fuck? And then they told me. And that next week, I got blackout shit face while I was working.
So you were operating off integrity, though. You were mad for a fucking...
No, I was operating off a fucking pure hate.
True, but it was off fucking the correct values. You're not okay with what fucking happened. So you're operating off your integrity and your values, and you're fucking standing up for what you believe is correct.
But there was a way better way of doing it.
Sure. You know what the best way of doing that is? Call the cops. That's the best way to do it, unfortunately.
It's like
that's the best way to do it, but that's not your style. It's not my style either. I'm going in there and blacking somebody's fucking eye.
It's like the one time your partners fucked you and then they changed the locks on the building because they thought you would be a threat. No, yeah.
That seems oddly specific, Scott.
Very much so. It's like, apparently y'all.
If y'all are curious why the fuck the four of us became friends,
there's a common theme.
You know what?
I will bring that up. That's our theme. We like booze.
I will bring that up as actually another sign of when somebody transitions from being a child to an adult. Look at the size of their circle.
Is it huge or small?
Yeah.
Every adult man, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that I've ever met, like the ones that I would look at and be like, that is a man of both integrity and I trust him. Not saying he's not a piece of shit. Just saying I trust the man. He's got...
I know, right?
I feel attacked.
He's got...
He pointed at Scott. It wasn't at Scott.
He's got like 6 or 7 friends. And I mean like, you know where I live. I could call you anytime, day or night. You could call me anytime, day or night. If something's going on, they got you. There's like 6 or 7 friends. It is a tight little circle. And they all know each other. Yeah. This isn't like this is my really good friend who you've never fucking heard of.
Yeah.
Right.
Those don't exist. Like everybody knows each other. And then you look at the kids and it's like, this is my crew. And it's like 40 deep. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, you're a child. Like you don't don't know what trust is.
Then like friends, right? Like I left on what, like 17th?
Yeah.
And it's now the 2nd, right? I think I talked to John twice.
Yeah.
Right?
Those are the best friends.
Yes.
The ones that you don't talk to for an extended period of time and you don't skip a beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're business partners, right? Like if there was something we needed to talk about,
Yeah.
we could talk. He knew that like I'm on vacation.
Go enjoy your family. I'm
Right.
not gonna bother you with shit.
and like I'm comfortable enough to be like, John's got this shit.
Those
Right?
There was-
you know,
Those
like,
are the best friends.
there
man.
was stuff that you and I talked about
Mhm.
that had to do with the show, and Warfighter was like loosely affiliated or whatever. I knew you were gone.
yeah.
And I was like, I'll call John. Like he's the one that's still here.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm not
Right.
gonna bug Scott.
Yeah.
I want you with your family. Like that's the important part. So it's like the holiday thing. I invite everybody over to my house for the holidays. You know,
Except me. Didn't invite me. I wasn't invited.
I didn't get an invite either. But it's because he knew I was gone.
Yeah.
So
It's because he knows I have children.
Yeah. I also know who can and can't do something like
Sure.
that. And so but yeah, that
You
circle.
know what? Credit to my wife, because every time I'm like, oh yeah, Jazz is having this thing. She's like, do you want to go? And I don't know.
And
if
Mikey
it's-
goes, no, I kind of just want to smoke this weed and fucking sit
Well, the thing is though, but it's a loaded question.
It's 100%
It's a
loaded
fucking loaded
goddamn
question.
right it is.
Right? Like,
You
you
know
know,
what? Maybe that is when a boy becomes a man.
It happened-
When
it
he realizes
happened-
trick questions that
When-
females
when
ask
he
him.
Christmas-
take the fucking bait.
Right.
And it happened on Sunday too. It happened yesterday or day before yesterday too. Because
Because we were all at Jim's.
and believe me, I was invited to that party. 3 different people invited me to the same party. Him, Jim, and Jim's wife all invited me to the party, right? And I tell Haley, I'm like, oh yeah, the party's tonight. Do you want to go? You can go if you want to.
Oh, you want to hear one of the best psychological operations missions I've ever seen in my life?
It has to do with a woman and a husband.
Jim doesn't invite me to New Year's. Jim doesn't invite my wife to New Year's. Jim gets Julie to get a hold of my wife
Brilliant.
to talk about New Year's. And I was like,
That's a Jim
motherfucker.
is a true friend.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
It's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's but Jim's one of the ones that I was talking about. You want to talk about true friends?
Yeah.
About how when you're pursuing something and you know you're too deep and a friend will step forward and go, yeah, you're in too deep and you need to fucking breathe. Jim's the
Yeah.
one that always will call you and
100%.
be like, you're here at this time, and then just hangs up on you. And you're like,
I guess I'm going
I
there.
guess I'm going out. Like, I guess it's
100%.
yeah, I don't know what it is with him, but he's got some sort of like sixth sense of like, my friend needs a night out.
I
And
saw-
he
I saw-
fucking fixes it.
So I saw Jim on Friday.
Yeah.
He drove by me.
Yeah.
I was doing a wedding on River Road at one of the float in areas.
Okay.
I was marrying one of my Satmar guys and to his wife.
Yeah.
And he drove by and everybody's like, "Oh, that's dope! Look
Oh,
at
the
that Humvee!"
Humvee.
And I was like, "Jam!" And he kind of went like that, and he didn't. And he was like, "No." And then later, I was like, "You just," and I have no service down there because it's in that
Right.
valley.
Yeah.
So when I texted him and it didn't go through, but when it went through, he was like, "I fucking knew that was you! I fucking knew it!" And like he texted it to me, and I read it in his voice. I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
He was like, "I fucking knew it! Back that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drew by and I fucking knew it was you. We love you, Jim.
Yeah,
we
do.
really do.
We do.
But yeah, I think that's another sign. So it's the
Funny
responsibility
enough,
thing.
The
And
groom
look at the
is a
size
fan
of their
the
circle.
show, and I was like, "That's Big Jim," and he's like, "Fuck you, sir, Big Jim." I'm like, "That's the guy."
Episode 1 of my other podcast, and Jim was on there, and we were fucking drinking the first drink to the show or whatever. And my other co-host, who's now known as Beer Jim, because that won't be confusing fucking at all,
Right.
brought this really limited edition beer from his brewery. It was like in his vault and whatever. So he popped it open and he brought these really nice flutes for it. And we're sitting there drinking. And I was like, "Pinky's out, Jim." It's in the first like 2 minutes of the show.
Amazing. Did he fucking
He literally was holding the cup and he just goes
drinks
like,
like this?
he just goes, "Fuck you." And just went to drink.
That's fucking funny.
So at least those are my two. And it sounds like most of the guys agree. It's when they have a small circle of friends and it from the outside, it just goes like, Jesus Christ, where the fuck did you people meet each other?
Right.
Like, and they'll man up and say, yeah, I fucked up. This is fucking on me. I think those, for me, that's the two signs of, all right, that's an actual fucking adult.
And
Like,
there's one other thing for me. Your ability to bounce back from turmoil.
Well, that's been my whole life.
Is a true. That's a true. But that's a true sign of
That's all
being
I know.
an adult, of being a man.
I stay bouncing.
And I used to tell my Marines that, especially the ones that got NJP'd or fucking
Yeah.
Article 15, right? If because they're down, they're fucking down, and I'm like, look, man, you got a bad beat. You're down right now. Don't let it fucking define you. Don't let this.
We had a
fuck
sergeant
you up.
major give that speech.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
And it's good advice, though. It
Yeah.
really is. Like, it's like, don't let this be what holds you down and changes you. Like, let this fucking, like the sign and the ability to bounce back from these problems, from these issues, is a huge sign of being an adult and of being a fucking grown person, right? Is being able to go, you know what? I fucked up. I manned up. I take my responsibility, and I'm going to march the fuck
And
on.
the thing about like kids, they don't understand that. Say you get in trouble like that in the Marines or Army or whatever, you're right. You get in trouble. If you can show your chain of command, like a week later, you can be all high speed and fucking. You don't get down on yourself. You don't get the fuck this mentality, right? If you can just show them for a week or two, they're going to be like, that's an adult.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That goes a long way.
Like I was trying to tell Logan, he's working at Whataburger. He's like, yeah, they got me on the fucking fryer. I'm like, you know what? If I was your boss and you bitched about being on the fryer,
You would live on that fryer.
you would live on the fucking fryer.
You would never leave the fryer.
Never.
Yeah.
Right?
Good. Welcome to the fucking fry daddy, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you are gonna quit on that fryer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you fucking be the best fucking fry guy possible,
Yeah.
guess what, bro? You're going to the grill next.
Right.
You're going to be washing lettuce.
Because he's
Whatever the
like,
fuck.
he's like, Dad, one of my buddies is 19 and he's a manager. I'm like, okay, so do you think your 19-year-old manager bitched about being on the fryer? Well, probably
No,
not.
he did it with a fucking
Yeah.
smile on his face.
Then shut the fuck up about
Yeah.
being on the fryer. Like, like you have to learn as soon as you're old enough to learn.
You lighting candles over there? That was excessive.
We're good.
as soon as you're mature enough to understand the bigger picture of stuff like that, I think that's part of being an adult as well.
Sure.
If you're stuck in the he fucked me, like you don't understand like what's actually going on big picture wise.
Yeah.
So
And even when you do get fucked over, because that does happen in the adult world often.
yeah.
Oftentimes you get fucked over by individuals or people, right? You get fucked over by groups or individuals. It happens all the
Adulthood
time.
is a process of getting fucked over with tiny little moments that feel like excellence.
You're not fucking wrong.
And when you can get comfortable with that notion,
And
You're not
being
wrong.
a man is learning how to focus on the tiny little moments instead of the rest of just getting fucked over.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just bouncing back, dude. Bouncing back from turmoil.
why do you think we keep making this shit show?
It's a good tiny moment.
It forces me to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
And Scott.
Yeah. There it is. There it is. And that's why we're all friends. I think we've answered our question, right? I think we've kind of done it. So
Can
I'll
I
seal
just
this
point
one
out
up.
that we actually just had an entire debate where we actually stayed on the topic?
These are back-to-back debates, boys. I'm fucking proud of you for.
I'm proud of you for coming up with good topics.
Hey,
Yeah, these have been
he wasn't here for the
solid.
last one.
Oh, do we wanna,
What was the last one?
Wealth and
Yes. When does chasing fame and fortune become a problem?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
you guys did it right. I think if it causes harm to people, that's when you need to end. But I did disagree with you guys a little bit on it. I can't remember exactly what, but I remember disagreeing.
It was probably me.
I think it was
I bet
some.
folding money it was you.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
Can I just tell you how much I love the fucking whole gag that you and John or you and Scott don't get along?
Oh no, I think I defined it. Fucking.
It's like
So
my
there was
favorite
actually
fucking gag on
there was a
this show.
fan that came by the store that actually asked me, and he was like, "Do you and Scott really not like each other?"
Like you guys have sold it, like subtly sold it
And I
to the
phrased
point
it
where it's
this way.
believable for 3 years.
I phrased it this way, and I was like, "Look, Scott doesn't like me very much. Scott loves me, but he doesn't like me very much."
like a child.
Brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FTFO to get you a sweet 15% off. owellness.us, Freedom Friends 25. That gets you a quarter off your order. And Icy Tech Coolers, icytech.com.
Fucking
Freedom
love you,
Friends
buddy.
10 gets 10% off. I'll raise my glass. Say thanks for being my freedom friend. Cheers, buddy. He's walking away. He's walking over to him.
Oh, we're gonna have a moment.
Oh, now you two kiss. I got half a stock right
Easy,
now,
buddy.
Are we next? Is this you know what?
That's the Patreon
We can
content.
do worse. Cheers.
That's the Patreon content.
Like, share, subscribe, smash those fucking buttons, damn it. Tell your mom.
Tell your friends.
Fucking mom's friends. I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. We're still doing it though, and we're here. So fucking A. Before we leave, I want to give a huge shout out to some of the peanut gallery that's here. Of course, we got fucking Munchkin McGee over here being weird.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares. We got the fucking Lollipop Twins. The Lollipop Twins are here.
So we got Mike Jones, Kibby, kicking off the year with Dave. Still fucking here. Still kicking around. Still fucking being awesome.
Just lighter.
Just lighter.
Dave and I crash diet.
And we got the other Freeman.
Bradley Freeman.
We don't have Chris Freeman because you could tell because somebody's not talking to us off camera.
Right?
It's Bradley Freeman.
An avid
you
poster.
did good, kid.
Well, that was the one thing he said to not do.
Yeah. Well, and it's fucking fair.
Right? It's like,
But
dude, you
if
don't
you
have a
want to
microphone.
know avid poster in the actual group, not just the
Yep.
the page, but the Freedom Friends group or whatever. Brad posts all the time,
All the time.
and he's got quality content.
He
we
does.
fucking appreciate.
Yes, he
buddy.
does. Good
So-
meme game
yeah,
on Brad.
the meme
He's
game
got a
is
solid
strong.
meme game.
You came down from Maryland? Maryland.
Yeah.
Oh, your hometown. That's awesome.
I will burn this bitch now. Swear to God.
Beat me to it.
If you want to experience Bradley's epic meme game, join the Facebook group. It's linked down below.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we thank you guys for coming. Kibby did his yearly. Kibby and Mike Jones here did their yearly trip out here. We appreciate you guys. We've had phenomenal booze this night. This McKenna is from Kibby.
Fucking got white
The
girl
Eagle-
wasted with them on
The
New
Eagle
Year's Eve.
Rares from Jones.
I am impressed with Kibby right now. I bought Kibby a bottle of booze to thank him for his generosity during this season. He is because I'm going to get my motorcycle license this weekend, and Kibby actually mailed me a helmet
That's
Nice.
right.
because, like him,
You both
I
have
have-
huge fucking
we have
heads.
huge fucking heads, especially in comparison to our bodies.
The smallest people ever. I don't know if you guys have noticed though. I obviously trimmed about 8 inches off my beard. This is what I was talking about when I said my head's too small
So
for my body.
That's what 8 inches is.
8 inches off his beard.
Like my head is too small for my body. It is the opposite of Jazz's problem. Jazz
Yeah.
looks like a Pez dispenser, whereas I look
You
like
beat me to it. I literally was going to say Pez dispenser. Yeah.
like
So,
I
but
look like fucking Beetlejuice, fucking head shrunken.
So he mailed me a helmet. Not only did he mail me a helmet, but knowing that I'm a huge fucking nerd, it's a really nice shoey helmet. And that's all he told me. He's like, I'm mailing you a shoey helmet. And I was like, fucking dope. I looked it up and I was like, I can't accept this gift. These fucking helmets are crazy expensive. And then it showed up and had a huge fucking dragon that wraps all the way around it. And I was like, now I'm keeping this. Like, this is mine now.
Does it look like you should wear affliction shirts?
No, this looks like I should drive a rad ass van that has like a wizard on the side of it. It's that kind of
Yeah.
dragon. Yeah.
Fucking A.
And he got me these.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
So and he got a fucking 2 pair for my wife and stuff like that. So
He's a good fucking dude,
so
man.
I bought him a bottle of Booker's Small Batch, the Kentucky Tea edition,
Very nice.
and he has not opened it.
Well, he's got to take it back.
You just drive down
So
and fly.
I'm impressed.
You got to fly. Yeah, you can't open it. You got to fly back with it.
I am
Yeah.
impressed with the level of self control because I almost opened that motherfucker.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank all of y'all
We want to thank y'all.
for being here in person, and for all of our listeners out there that have stuck with us for yet another year and are apparently strapping in for a
Fucking
fresh
A.
one.
Fucking A, man.
We fucking love you.
We do.
So
We
buy us an
appreciate
air
it.
conditioner because it's fucking hot in here.
Yeah.
$30,000. That's all we need.
All we need is like 40 more kibbies to fucking
big
match him on
AC unit.
Patreon. And
Yeah, you gotta tone that shit down, buddy.
yeah,
Fucking
dude.
A.
Like, we appreciate you. He's just like, fuck you.
We're a fucking tax write off for you at this point. This is fucking ridiculous.
Want to figure out a way to
Listed as-
501c3 it. Shit.
Listed as a dependent for TJ Kibbe.
Fucking. That's like $4,000. It's 4 kids. Shit. It's like $4,000 tax write off. Well, anyways, thanks everybody. We appreciate you. We appreciate you listening for another fucking year. And yeah, that's all I got.
Go find your inner child and slay that bitch.
Yeah, man. So 3 little things. Nice and easy. John,
Smoke on.
your favorite.
Drink on.
God damn it, kids.
Freedom the fuck on.
Later.